Alright guys, welcome to piano lessons and then today's piano tutorial I'm going to be teaching you the diminished chord, and then I'm also going to show you different ways that you can apply it to your piano play. Alright, so let's dive right into that. Okay, the diminished chord is actually gotten from the major chord. Alright, the diminished chord is gotten by flattening the third and then flattening the fifth of a major chord or a major triad. And by the way guys, if you're new to my channel, hit on the subscribe button so YouTube always notifies you when we post new videos. Give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment for me. All right, I really appreciate this guys. Okay, so we said the diminished chord is gotten by flattening the third and the fifth of a major triad or a major chord. All right, C major chord is made up of the first, the third, and the fifth. Look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I flatten the third, which is my E, I'll get E flat, and if I flatten the fifth, which is my G, I'll get my G flat or my F sharp. All right, so my C diminished is equivalent to my C, my E flat, and then my G flat. All right, that's that. So that's how you form diminished chord for any chord. Let's take, for example, my F diminished, my F chord. All right, my F chord, if I want to get the diminished, I'll flatten the third and then the fifth. That will give me my F, my G sharp, and my B. All right. One thing you observe, back to my C, one thing you observe about the diminished chord is that it is a symmetrical kind of chord. All right, each of the notes that make up the chord is separated by 3 semitones in between. So you can see 1, 2, 3, and then from this to this is 1, 2, is 1, 2, 3. All right, did you see that? Okay, the next thing I want to tell you about the diminished chord is the diminished seventh. All right, the diminished seventh. All right, the diminished seventh is gotten by adding a minor third to your fifth. So this is the fifth, add a minor third to it. Can you see that? So this is my C diminished seventh. All right, this is also what we call the full diminished. If I want it to be the half diminished, I will simply sharpen this A by a semitone, and it will become my C, my E flat, my G flat, and my B flat. All right, that's my half diminished. All right guys, so this is also what we call the minor 7 flat 5. All right, so this is my minor 7th, and if I flatten the 5, I'll get this. So this is my minor 7 flat 5. All right. Okay, so guys, back to my diminished 7th or my full diminished. All right. I want to show us different ways we can actually apply this. But before that, let me also explain something for you. You can see if I play the inversion of this, I'll get this. Can you see that? All right. This is also, since it's a symmetrical chord, this is also the diminished for E flat. All right, and then if I play the inversion, play this here, I also get the F sharp diminished chord, and if I play the inversion, I will now get the A diminished 7th. All right, so from this you can see we want diminished chord, we've gotten the diminished chord for 4 keys. All right, remaining 8 more keys. To get the other ones, come to your F, get the diminished for F, which is this, flatten the third, flatten the fifth, and then add a minor third to the fifth, which is this. So with this, you can get your F diminished, your G sharp diminished, your B diminished 7, and lastly your D diminished 7. The same thing applies to our G. Alright, so for my G, flatten the third, flatten the fifth to get your diminished, then add a minor third to your fifth. Alright, then when you invert it, you get your B flat diminished 7. When you invert it forward, you get your C sharp diminished 7, and then lastly you get your E diminished 7. So you can see all you need to learn is 3 diminished chord. Alright, that's the interesting thing about the diminished chord. All you need to learn is 3 diminished chord, which are the C diminished chord, the F diminished chord, and then the G diminished chord. Alright, so with this you can get diminished chord for any of the keys, alright, by simply inverting these 3. Okay guys, so with that I want to show you different ways we can apply our diminished chord. Alright, so the diminished chord usually likes to resolve on a minor chord. Okay, so we actually can apply the diminished chord in going from a major chord to a minor chord. Alright, or even from a minor chord to a minor chord. Let's take for example, in the song I Surrender. So alright, what I just did is a drop 2. Alright, my F drop 2, then alright, my D drop 2. So alright, so see this, blessed Savior. Alright, did you see that? So you see, Savior. Alright, so let's look at the application of the diminished chord. Okay, so the first application we're going to look at is in moving from a major chord to a minor chord. Alright, so let's say I'm on my C. If I want to move from C to D, for example in the song, Father, I adore you. Alright, so what I'll do, did you see that? I apply the C sharp diminished. Alright, if you even want it to sound better, melodically, play it the inversion. Alright, so Father, I adore you, I lay my. Alright, so this time around I applied it to my my A minor. A minor before you. Now other way, now see, yeah. So you see, before moving to my A minor, I did this. Alright, I adore you. So the diminished chord can actually be used as a passing chord from one note to another note on the major scale. Alright, so if I want to go to my D after C, D, so if I want to go to my D, I can apply this diminished chord for this in between diminished chord. If I want to go from my D to my E, I apply this in between diminished chord. From my F to my G, I can apply this in between diminished chord. From my G to my A, I can apply this in between diminished chord. So I adore you. So see what another thing. I lay my life before. Can you see that? Alright, so let me show you another way I can apply my diminished chord to a song like I Surrender in the later part. I surrender. So all to mine. So bless the Savior. I surrender. All right, so I did two different types of application of the diminished chord. The first one is when I did so Savior. So from my so Savior. So I use it as a passing chord to get to my 2. So Savior. So this is a walk down on my left hand. E flat, D, C sharp. So Savior, I. All right. Sorry. So I 2 5 1. So this is like a 2 5 1. So I'm here. I surrender. So I need to resolve back to my G. All right. So this is my G. Let's say this is the target chord. So my 2 5 1 is my A D. So I surrender. All right. Back to my 1. So did you see that? So so for my A, I'll use this particular diminished chord. All right. So this diminished chord is I use for the A. I'll use the G diminished chord. On my left hand, my A and my E. On my right hand, my G, my B flat, my C sharp, and then my E. So sorry. So for my D, I'll use my F sharp diminished. All right. On my left hand, D A D. On my right hand, F sharp, A, C, and D sharp. So sorry. For my G, I'll use the F diminished. All right. So G, D on my left hand. On my right hand, F, G sharp, B, and my D. Then back to my root. All right. So this is actually using it to substitute for chords. All right, see how I substituted it for my A, and then substituted this for my D, then substituted it for my G. All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe, leave me a comment, like this video, okay? Encourage us. All right, on the notification bell so YouTube always notifies you when we post other interesting videos. Cheers.